days. Eh?
Sean bienvenidos todos a la sesión 33 del seminario de BEI Matemática Aplicada. Tenemos la honra de presentar a dos grandes pesquisadores, el profesor Arnold Munch y el profesor Dilberto Almeida. Para presentar al profesor Arnold Munch, paso la palabra al profesor Diego Souza. Diego Souza, adelante, por favor.
Okay, obrigado, Juan.
Inglés y
okay,
portugués.
we'll switch to English. Okay, for me, it's a great pleasure to introduce Arnold Munch. Arnold Munch is a well-known mathematician working on PDEs and numerical analysis. Arnold Munch is a full professor since 2009 at the University of Blaise Pascal, and now the university changed the name. Now is Clément Auverne. And so, as I said, the main topic of Professor Arnold Munch is a partial differential equation, control problems, and numerical analysis. So, and today, Professor Arnold Munch will talk about constructive exact control for semilinear PDEs. So, thank you very much for accepting the invitation, and the word is with yours.
Thank you very much, Diego. Good morning. I don't know. Good afternoon, everyone. Many thanks for the invitation. It's a real pleasure for me to give such a talk. So yes, I'm going to discuss some recent result we get with some colleague here in Clermont-Ferrand and also in somewhere else, including in Sevilla. About the constructions of exact controls for nonlinear partial differential equations. So the topic is the general topic is the following one. So take a partial differential equations. Y is the states, V is the control functions, plus initial conditions and boundary conditions as usual. Assume that this partial differential equations is exactly controllable and uniformly with respect to the initial data. And my purpose is to construct a sequence indexed by K, a sequence of control pair, control solutions, a pair YK VK, converging strongly to a control states YV of the partial differential equations 1, converging as K, the parameter, goes to plus infinity. And in a nonlinear setting, it's an open issue because the controllability result for semilinear and nonlinear equations are obtained using a fixed point argument, fixed point methods, which are not constructive. So I will show you some results we obtained recently for the wave and the heat equations with distributed controls, and I will try to convince you that we can construct a convergent sequence YK VK, and we use we extend some idea we use for the direct problem to solve a Navier-Stokes using a least square approach. Recent result with my colleague Jérôme Lemoine here. Okay, so we start with the 1D wave equation to fix ID. So capital omega is 0, 1. I control in small omega a subset of capital omega, and the nonlinearity is the function f, and the control is v acting on small omega. Okay, I assume that the initial conditions are in the usual energy space as well as the target, and so I'm looking for a control V in L2 such that the corresponding solution Y start from the initial data, U0, U1, and reach at time capital T the target Z0, Z1. And so V is an exact control for the PDEs. And it's well known since the work of Enrique Zuazua some times ago, that if T is large enough, and if the nonlinear functions satisfy an asymptotic growth conditions at infinity for some beta strictly positive small enough, then the system 2 is exactly controllable in time T. If T is large enough, if F satisfies this kind of assumptions, I can find a control V in L2 for the system 2. And as I said, the methods used is based on a fixed point argument. So introduce for any xc in L infinity of Qt, because in 1D in space, the solutions belongs to L infinity of Qt. So for any xc of Qt, introduce the operator lambda, capital lambda, where capital lambda of xc is a control solutions Y of this linearized wave equations through the control V. This equations is linear for sure. So if T is large enough, I always can find xc being fixed. I always can find a control V for Y, such that Y at time capital T reach the target. And in the paper, he play with the control of minimal L2 norm. And then using a fixed point argument, his work proved that lambda has a fixed point, which is clearly a solution of the semi-linear problems. And in particular, to apply a Schroeder fixed point argument, you need to prove a stability estimates and show that the image of any xc in a given ball remains in the same ball. And so to prove this stability result, we employ this kind of bounds of the L infinity norm of lambda xc in term of xc. And you see that if beta is small enough, beta is the parameter appearing in the growth conditions on F. If beta is small enough, then there exists capital M, large, possibly large, such that if xc is in the ball of radius m, then the image stays in the ball of radius m. So you see where the smallness assumption on beta appears in the proofs. And well, and the key point is the analysis is a precise a priori estimates for the linear wave equations of the control solutions Z and the control function V in term of the norms of here the potential A and possibly the right hand side B and the initial and final conditions. Okay, so one idea in order to construct a sequence is to iterate the operator capital lambda and compute define the Picard iterates yk associated to capital lambda. So for any element yk in L infinity, compute a control vk plus 1 for yk plus 1 solutions of linear wave equations. Well, the point is that okay, this sequence is going to be uniformly bounded with respect to k from the stability result, but there is no reason for this sequence to converge because a priori in general the operator lambda is not contracting. Well, we can ensure some contraction property if we add some smallness assumptions on the nonlinearity and on the initial data. Otherwise, in practice, lambda is not contracting. So we have to do something else, and we are we are going to try a least square approach. So for that, we introduce the Hilbert space capital H of Y and V with the usual regularity for the solutions of the linear wave equations. The initial solutions should be in V, H0 and L2. And from H, I associate two subspace, capital A, the element of H, such that the solutions Y, the solutions at time t equal to 0 coincide with the initial conditions to be controlled, and the solutions at time capital T coincide with the target Z naught Z1 I want to reach. And A naught is essentially the same, is a vectorial space where I start from 0 and I reach 0 at time capital T. Okay, then the idea is to introduce this least square functionals E from A to R, which is nothing else than the L2 norm up to the square, the L2 norm of the nonlinear equations, dtty minus dxxy plus f of y minus v restricted to small omega. And then from this least square functionals, I'm looking for the infimum over the elements yv in A, so satisfying the initial conditions and the controllability condition at time capital T, which minimize the least square functionals. And clearly, if if V is a control of the nonlinear equations, so for Y, then E of Y V is equal to 0, and conversely. So I'm looking for a 0 of the functionals E. And from the controllability result, this infimum is well posed. This infimum is a minimum. Okay, so this is the idea to find from this least square functionals a 0 of the least square functionals, and a 0 will be a solutions of my controllability problem. Okay, and we can show the following inequality for any element YV. Sorry, not YF, but YV in A. I can bound the least square functionals, well, the square root of the least square functionals at the point YV in terms of the norm for the dual space of the derivative of the differential of the functionals. Well, first I show that the functionals is differentiable. Is Gato differentiables, and then I prove this kind of inequality. And so this inequality here tells us that if YV is a critical point, well, if YV in A is a critical point for E, meaning that E prime at the point YV is equal to 0, so that quantity is going to be equal to 0, and necessarily that quantity is going to be equal to 0. So if YV in A is a critical point for E, then necessarily YV is a 0 of the functionals E, and so is a solution I'm looking for. And you see that a constant appears, which depends on the observability constant, and the nonlinearity appears here in that term. So in practice, what I have to do is to construct a sequence YK VK in A. So YK should satisfy the initial conditions at time 0, the controllability condition at time capital T, a minimizing sequence for the functionals E, meaning that E prime goes to 0, and such that for which that constant, well, that constant with YK instead of Y is uniformly bounded with respect to K. Because if I'm able to construct a minimizing sequence YK-VK such that that quantity is uniformly bounded with respect to K, then E of YK-VK is going to converge to 0. And this property tells us that a minimizing sequence cannot be stuck in a local minima, even if the functional E is not convex. For sure, is not strictly convex. So what I have to do is to find a minimizing sequence. And to find a minimizing sequence, I'm going to introduce for any Y and V, any element YV in A, a pair, capital Y1, capital V1 in A naught. So A naught, so Y1 at time capital T is 0, and Y1 at 0 is 0 as well. So capital Y1, capital V1 in A naught, solutions of this linearized wave equations. So V1, is a null control distributed on small omega for capital Y1, and Y1 goes from 0 to 0. And of course, the element, the pair YV appears in the right hand side, here, and in the potentials F prime of Y. Well, if T is large enough, this equation is linear, so that I know that if T is large enough, such control capital V1 exists. And the interest of the pair capital Y1 V1 is that the derivative of E prime at the point small y, small v, in the direction capital Y1, capital V1, is proportional to the value of the least square functionals at the point YV. And so in particular, this equality tells me that minus capital Y1 V1 is a descent direction for the functionals E. Moreover, V1 is a control, so I can select the control of minimal L2 norm. And if I do that, I have some precise estimates of the norm of the controls and the corresponding control state in terms of the right hand, the L2 norm of the right hand side, which is nothing else than the square root of the least square functionals at the point YV. And you see here the observability constant which appear and depends on the exponentials of the square root of the L infinity norm of F prime Y, which is the potential in the linear wave equations. Moreover, if I add some regularity assumptions on F prime, on F, precisely if I assume that F prime is order continuous with exponent p for some p, for at least one p in 0, 1, then I can have a precise estimate of the value of the functionals at the point small y dot comma v minus lambda capital 1 capital V in term of the value of the functionals E at the point YV. And again, a constant appear here and depends on the observability constant, which depends on the L infinity norm of F prime of the potential. Okay. So now, since minus capital Y1 V1 is a descent direction, I can use such descent direction to define a minimizing sequence. Okay, so my minimizing sequence is exactly that one. For any Y naught V naught in A, the initial guess, I define my sequence YK-VK as follows. Okay. And lambda k is an optimal steps in order to increase the decay of the value of the least square functionals. And I repeat, for any YK-VK, capital Y1K, capital V1K is defined as a control solutions for linear wave equations. Okay, so this is my minimizing sequence. By constructions, the value of the least square functionals decrease. And well, I can show the following. We wrote that in a paper with Emmanuel Treller recently. If t is large enough, if I assume that f prime satisfies the Holder conditions with exponent p for at least one p between 0 and 1, and if I have an asymptotic conditions at infinity, not for f, but for f prime of that form, so there exists alpha and beta small enough, so I assume that there exists alpha and beta small enough satisfying such that the absolute value of f prime of R satisfying this kind of inequality. Then, if I assume that, then for any initial guess, why not V naught in A, I can show that the sequence YK-VK converge strongly to a control pair for the initial nonlinear wave equations. So I have what I want. I have what I wanted to do at the beginning. Moreover, we can check that the optimal parameter lambda k goes to 1 when k goes to plus infinity. And this strong convergence is at least linear and at least of order 1 plus p after a finite number of iterations. So if p is equal to 2, then the order of convergence is going to be p is equal to 1. The order is going to be of order 2. Okay. The main thing I have to do is to check that such a sequence, such a minimizing sequence, is uniformly bounded for the L infinity norm. And one way is to proceed by induction. So I assume that there exists capital M large enough such that the first n element of the sequence are bounded uniformly. And then I want to prove that the next element, yn plus 1, is bounded by M as well. And to prove that, well, I express yn plus 1 in terms of the initial guess plus a sum of the norm of capital YK1, which are the control solutions. Then I know that I have a precise estimates of such a control pair in terms of the right-hand side, which is the square root of the least square functionals, up to this observability constant. Now I use my hypothesis on f prime, and I can easily bound that quantity in terms of that quantity, and then I get this box inequality. And then now, so you see that the beta parameter appears here, 1 plus m appears here, and then I have to show essentially that I have to work on this series, which is a finite series because n is fixed. And to show that, well, I'm not going to give the details, but I use the estimates of the least square functionals at the point YK-VK minus lambda capital 1 k capital V 1 k in term of the value of the least square functionals at the previous point, at the point YK-VK. So the observability constant appears here, C of YK, and I can K is between 0 and 1, so YK is bounded by M, so I can estimate by above that the observability constant essentially in term of M. Well, and then after some computations, I have a precise estimates of the L infinity norm of the element yn plus 1. Well, in terms of the first L infinity norm and a quantity which depends on M. And again, if beta is small enough, in order that this quantity is strictly less than 1, then I conclude that there exists on capital M large enough such that that quantity is going to be less than capital M. And then I have proved that if beta is small enough, and if f prime satisfies the asymptotic graph conditions at infinity, I have proved that my sequence yk is uniformly bounded. Well, and from that, I easily show that this is the step 2. I easily show that the value of the least square functionals is uniformly bounded. Well, goes to 0, sorry, when k goes to plus infinity. And then I have a precise estimate of yv, which is that quantity when n goes to plus infinity, an estimate of the gap between that limit, the sequence yk/vk in term of the value of the least square functionals. So that quantity goes to 0 with a rate 1 plus p after a finite number of iterates, and so I will get the strong convergence of the sequence yk/vk towards yv. And then I pass to the limit. In the equation in respect to k in the equation satisfied by capital 1 k, and I get that at the limit yv satisfy the nonlinear wave equations. And so I have proved what I wanted to prove. Okay. It's clear that we assume a bit more that in the paper by Enrique Zuazua. He made some assumption on f. In our case we made some assumption on f prime. But for instance, you check that functions f, which is defined here, which is somehow the limit case in the paper of Zuazua, satisfy our assumptions with notably p is equal to 1. So I can ensure a quadratic convergence of the sequence. Okay, and of course there is a link with what is called the Dampy-Newton methods. If we define this map capital F, which is nothing else than the nonlinear wave equations, well, by definition, the least square functionals is equal to that quantity. And we check that if the optimal parameter lambda k is equal to 1, the least square algorithm coincide with the Newton algorithm applied to the map F. And so but you know that the Newton algorithm may not converge. You need to be close enough to a 0 of the map. Optimizing the parameter lambda k gives a global convergence property of the algorithm, and leads to the so-called damped Newton methods apply to F. So our least square functionals on E with a precise descent, minimizing sequence, coincide with the damped Newton methods applied to the map F. And we also check that, and this is expected, if the value of the first least square functional is small enough, which is true notably if the data to be controlled are small enough, then we do not need the assumptions on F prime, and so we recover the well-known local controllability of the semilinear wave equations for small data. Okay. Well, we can do essentially the same in multidimensional case. Well, d less than or equal to 3, and okay, t should be large enough. The size of the control region should be large enough. But essentially, we get the same convergence result for a sequence yk vk for any initial guess y naught v naught. Well, it's a bit more technical because in multidimensional case, the solutions are not in L infinity of Qt, but in L infinity in time LP in space. But it's essentially it's a bit more technical, but the idea is exactly the same. And I can show you some numerical experiment in 2D in order to enhance the convergence. So I work with the unit square. My control region is here, the black zone. T is large enough, T is equal to 3, and I consider this non-linear functions with coefficient here CF, which is negative. If CF is negative, then the uncontrolled solutions grows with the time variables. Okay, and this is some. So we see some picture for CF. If CF is not too small, not too negative, CF is equal to -1. Well, you see that the solutions in red of the L2 norm of the control solutions is red is close to the L2 norm of the control solutions of the linear wave equations. So no linearity, and the dot is the L2 norm of the uncontrolled solutions. Now, if you increase a bit the value of CG is equal to -10. Well, you see that the uncontrolled solutions grows exponentially in time. So you have to do something, and you see a gap, a big difference between the control in blue associated to the linear wave equations and the control in red associated to the semi-linear wave equations, as expected. You can also perform some comparison with the Schwarzschild fixed point operator. I introduced at the beginning, so the linearization is a bit different, and we still observe some convergence if CF is not too large. But you see that well, the number of iterations to which convergence is larger, and we also introduce well, a simpler fixed point operator where all the non-linearity is put on the right hand side of the equations. So this is what I call zero order linearizations. And again, if the non-linearity is not too large, we still observe convergence of the process, but we need much more iterations. Okay, now the case of the Witt equations. Well, zero controllability to 0 to simplify a bit. And I recall you that, again, a result by Fernandez-Cara was one that if we had some growth assumptions on the non-linearity at infinity for some beta small enough, beta star small enough, then the semi-linearity equation is exactly controllable to 0 uniformly with respect to the initial conditions. And again, they introduce a fixed point argument, which is not constructive. So we can apply. So we have proved with my colleague Jérôme Lemoine in 1D that if we had similar assumptions at infinity for f prime, the older conditions of order p for f prime as well, then we can construct a sequence YK-VK converging strongly to a control pair of the semi-linear heat equations. And again, with a superlinear convergence after a finite number of iterations. Well, the argument, the idea is the proof. We introduce a least square functionals, and I'm looking for one element YV in A, satisfying the initial conditions at time 0 and the controllability, null controllability at time capital T, for which the value of the least square functionals is equal to 0. Well, for the heat equations, it's a bit more technical because the convenient framework is to introduce Karleman weights, rho S, rho not S, etc., which depends on the parameter S. So it's a bit more technical, but the idea is exactly the same. So we define a minimizing sequence where at each steps, capital Y1, capital V1 define a descent direction for the least square functionals. Well, and again, we have to prove that YK, such a minimizing sequence, YK, is uniformly bounded for the L infinity norm, and this allow to apply the Karleman inequalities for a parameter S large enough, uniform with respect to the parameter K. And again, as for the wave equation, we need a precise estimates of a control V and the corresponding control solutions of a linear heat equations in term of a norm of the potentials and a norm of the right hand side. So this is one precise estimates in 1D for the L infinity norm, and we need precise estimates of the constant in terms of the parameter S as well. And well, as you may know, for the heat equations, we usually consider the control not of minimal L2 norm, but of minimal L2 weighted norm, involving a cost functions in Z and the control V. Okay, and more recently, we have been able to improve these constructions by relaxing the older conditions of exponent P on F prime. So we did that with Jérôme Lemoine and Sylvain Hervé-Dauza, and we prove in multidimensional case D is less than 5, and the Karleman parameter S large enough. Well, we still have the asymptotic conditions, graph conditions on F prime. We have been able to exhibit, to construct a sequence YK-VK converging strongly to a control pair for the semi-linear heat equations. And well, the result is better, and with a simpler linearizations. The linearizations which consist to put all the nonlinear term and to see the nonlinear term as a right hand side. So we introduced the operator lambda S for any y hat. We determine a control V for y solutions of these linear heat equations. Well, the analysis is a bit simpler because here there is no more potential. There is a right hand side, but there is no potentials. And we have been able to prove that if the Karleman parameter S is large enough, then the operator lambda S is contracting. And so and so we can define a convergent sequence. And moreover, the constant of contractions of the operator lambda S increase with S. Well, so some numerical illustrations in 1D again. So my control acts, so capital omega is 0, 1. The control acts on 0 to 0.8. T is equal to 1/2. This is the nonlinear functions I consider with CF negative. If CF is negative here, the solution blow up in infinite time. The uncontrolled solution blow up in infinite time. And that quantity satisfy our growth conditions on F prime. And you see that if the parameter S is large enough, so if S is equal to 1, the sequence is not going to converge. So this is the evolutions of the relative error between YK plus 1 and YK. And if S is equal to 1, the error does not go to 0. But as soon as S is equal to 2, you see that the relative error goes to 0. And the rate and the decay is increased if S is large. If S is equal to 4, you see a better. So this confirms the theoretical convergence results. And of course, so you have three pictures of here is on the top is the control solutions, the control, and on bottom is the controlled solutions. For S is equal to 2, S is equal to 3, and S is equal to 4. And the effect of the Karleman weight is that if S is large, the decay to 0 is faster, but the price to pay, of course, is a larger norm of the corresponding control. And the convergence the algorithm is robust, including for very large initial data. We have no assumptions on the size of the data. So if you consider, if you want to control sinus px up to a constant, which is possibly very large, 20,000, you still get if S is large enough, you still get the convergence of the sequence. Of course, the price to pay is the corresponding control solutions, and the corresponding control is larger. So as a conclusions, essentially, assuming some conditions at infinity on F prime, we are able to construct explicitly convergent sequence, so YK of controls and control solutions converging to a control of the semi-linear wave and its equations. And for the heat, the analysis enhances the fact that the Karleman parameter S has a role and should be taken large enough. And moreover, the convergence is also true for any initial guess. Well, very likely the methods may be extended to systems for which precise Karleman estimates for the linearized equations is available. Okay, very likely as well, we can adapt this strategy to solve nonlinear inverse and assimilation problems. And now what we are trying to do is to extend such a result to the case of Burger's equations and Navier-Stokes system, which is a challenging problem. So I thank you very much for your attentions, and this is some reference. And well, if you have some questions, I can try to answer the questions.
Okay, thank you very much, Arnaud, for your very, very nice talk. So now we open the, if anybody has some question, you can open your microphone or raise your hand as you prefer. Okay, so I have some questions, Arnaud. In the second part of your talk, D is less than 5.
Yes.
And
It's so.
And okay, yeah.
Which is enough in practice.
Yeah. Okay, but
Yeah.
but why? Where this condition appear in the?
Well, because we need some L infinity estimates of the control solutions. And for that, we in the work by Enrique Fernandez Cara, Enrique Zuaza, they play with control of minimal L infinity norm. There is only from the linearization, there is no right-hand side, there is only a potentials. And so if the control is in L infinity, the control solutions is going to be in L infinity. Okay, so for free they get a control solutions in L infinity. And then you are able to estimate the nonlinear terms. But the price to pay in their paper is that to get some L infinity control, they need to prove some L1, as you know, L1 Carleman estimates. Which
L1
is
observable inequality, yes.
Yeah. In our case, we do not have to prove any. We only use the usual L2 global L2 Carleman estimates. Okay, so we are not playing with control which are in L infinity of Qt. Our control belongs only in L infinity in time and LP in space. NP is related to the dimensions. And this ensures that the solutions Y belongs to L infinity of Qt.
Okay.
So it's purely technical from some embedding and but well, in practice, D less than 5 is it's it's okay.
Okay. Yes. Oh, another question is, I mean, you answer in your last slide is about when you have some first order terms, no? So yeah. I guess that you are analyzing these right now, no? When we have some gradient of y in the equation.
Yeah. Well, we can't. We in the seminar equations, if you replace f of y by f of the gradient of y, very likely you can do the same, changing possibly the asymptotic conditions on f prime. This is due to the power of the Carleman of S in the Carleman estimates. But yes, now burgers, the nonlinearity in burgers is a bit different.
Yes, involve y and yx. So
yes. But well, this nonlinearity is very specific, and so we are trying to extend that. We are trying to see if it's possible.
Okay, and for wave, did you work on boundary control for the wave or?
We can not. Well, this is actually what we are doing now with our postdoc students here, Kuntal boundary, and it is going to work in a very similar way for boundary controls for waves. It's a bit it's a bit different because there is no regularization property for the wave equations, as you know, but
mucho apoyo por parte del señor Khan.
You can continue. Someone open the microphone. Okay, you can continue. No?
Well, for the wave equations, applying the same methodology as for that HEAT paper with Sylvain and Jérôme, introduce some weighted functionals and using a global Kalman inequality for wave equations and taking the parameter S large enough, we can get the same things. Yes.
Okay.
In progress. In progress.
Okay. And my last question is, can you go back to the slide in which you see the relative error with respect to S? I think that is yes, this one. No, yes, this one. So, did you thought about some relation between, I mean, some proof of how the convergence depend with respect to S?
Yes, we have that. We can exhibit. We can show that the constant of contraction decrease when S increase.
But you know how?
Yes.
Good, very nice.
Yes. It's in the paper. It's in the paper. And so in practice, take a S as large as you want, and you can reach a fast decay as fast as you want. Okay.
And okay.
Which is quite expected, which is quite expected in view of the Kalman of the behavior of the Kalman. Because if you take this is here, if you take S very large, this push from from the beginning the solution to zero, the control solutions to zero, in view of the structure of the Kalman weights. Yes. So it's expected, but the price to pay is that the control, of course, the control, you see, S is equal to 4 here, and the norm of the controls is much more large.
And Arnaud, and the relation between S and the size of the initial condition, because you exhibit some numerical experiment that okay, you fix S and then you present some convergence with a very large initial condition. But I think that S, you take large with respect to some constant that depend on the initial condition, no? So
yes, well,
in order to have a contraction, right?
We start with the shoulder fixed point, and we have a stability. In a ball of radius, radius R, and that R depends on the size of the initial conditions, as you can guess. So from the initial conditions, you get an R, and from that R you get the S. Okay? Yes. So the S depends on the R. Well, we have on, it's not explicit, but we have relations between S and R.
Okay, so I have no more questions, so thank you. So if anyone have some question, yes, no, it seems that no one.
Any problem? I have an email, so feel free to send me an email if you have some questions. Any problem?
I will write your email here in the chat if you want anyone.
Yeah, I'm sorry, it's not on the. It should be on the first slide, but it's not on the first slide.
I will write here in a moment. So thank you very much for this very nice talk, Arnaud.
Thank you very much.